Cast. Moving on, US President Donald Trump expressed grief over the loss of the lives in the plane crash near Reagan National Airport in Washington, D.C., calling it a devastating moment in nation's history. Trump assured that efforts would be made to determine the cause of the disaster and prevent such events in the future. Let's in fact listen in.
Is now shifted to a recovery mission. Sadly, there are no survivors. This was a dark and excruciating night in our nation's capital and in our nation's history, and a tragedy of terrible proportions. As one nation, we grieve for every precious soul that has been taken from us so suddenly, and we are a country of we are in mourning. This has really shaken a lot of people, including people, very sadly, from other nations who were on the flight. For the family members back in Wichita, Kansas, here in Washington, D.C., and throughout the United States and in Russia, we have a Russia contingent, some very talented people, unfortunately, were on that plane. Very, very, very sorry about that.
We have with us my colleague Mehndi Garg joining us on the telecast. Mehndi, what are the details that are coming in terms of Trump's statement on this DC plane crash?
Well, Ria, yes, U.S. President Donald Trump has expressed grief over the loss of lives in the plane crash near Reagan National Airport in Washington, D.C., calling it a devastating moment in the nation's history and also acknowledging the impact on families across the United States and abroad, including Russian nationals on board. He assured that efforts would be made to determine the cause of the disaster and also, prevent such incidents in the future. And also, Donald Trump said that sadly there are no survivors, and this was a dark and excruciating night in our nation's capital and in also the nation's history, and a tragedy of terrible proportions as we, the America grieve for every precious soul that has been taken from U.S. so suddenly. And not only this, Ria, the U.S. President further affirms that his administration will set the highest possible bar for aviation safety as well. And Donald Trump also criticized the Biden administration's aviation policies, arguing that his own leadership had prioritized safety over politics. And earlier in the day also, Ria, the U.S. authorities confirmed that they no longer expect to find any survivors, and efforts have shifted to a recovery mission, according to, D.C. Fire and EMS Chief John Donnelly, according to the reports. And also, the Reagan National Airport, where Washington, D.C. Mayor Muriel Bowser also addressed and said that the deadly collision involving an American Airlines passenger plane carrying 64 people and a U.S. Army Black Hawk helicopter with 3 soldiers on board. And, Ria, Donnelly confirmed that recovery teams had retrieved 28 bodies from the passenger jet and 1 from the military helicopter. And also the mid-air collision occurred between an American Airlines plane and the U.S. Army Black Hawk helicopter near Reagan National Airport outside Washington, D.C. happened, and the collision resulted in both aircraft crashing into the Potomac River. So yes, now Donald Trump has also expressed his grief over the plane crash and is targeting the Biden administration as well. Yes,
all right, Mehndi, thank you so much for joining us on the telecast.